Welcome to Botanical Trails Through the Juniper Forest. I'm your host, Brian Heater. Each week, I'll have a different guest join me to explore a pair of interesting gins. We'll chat a little bit about the gin and the distilleries, throw in a bit of trivia, hopefully laugh a bit, and then we'll go off the beaten path. Although I say that this is a podcast about gin, really this is just an excuse for me to spend time with my friends. But that'll just be our secret. Okay, let's start exploring. All right, welcome to Season 3 of Botanical Trails. My guests today are two returning guests, Andy and Adam Jester. Guys, thanks for coming on the show today.
Yeah, thank you, Brian.
Thanks.
So we're going to do two other gins that I actually picked up last year when I went to see my cousins in South Carolina. You are both cousin-in-laws of mine. And I originally brought back 4 gins from South Carolina. And when I did the Outlaw episode with your spouses, we tried the first 2 gins from South Carolina. Nice. So we're kind of closing the loop on that. The first gin we're trying is called Jasper's Gin. So I poured a little sipper for us. So
are we doing the sip first?
We always do the sip first.
Always.
You know, we didn't. I wanted to hear how the reviews went from the podcast last time. Is mine number 1 across the board right now?
No, Adam's is number 2.
They just had our names confused. They're very similar. I've been saying this my whole life.
Adam just got another download today.
They meant Andy. What?
Yeah.
He's at home downloading this. I'm telling you right now.
I'm not sure.
Every day's like click download, click download, click download. I do not drink straight gin that often. But as straight gins would go.
Yes. So, and then, so I'll talk about it and then we can try the cocktail.
Ooh, that was good.
So, but there's a botanical in this one that I want to see if you guys might be able to identify. So Jasper's Gin, it comes from the Charleston Distilling Company. It is an American-style gin. It's made with farm-harvested grains, corn and wheat. So that's like what makes the base alcohol. It is considered a juniper-forward gin, followed by citrusy and floral notes. So some of the hand-selected botanicals include coriander seed, a bitter lime, an orange peel, ginger, angelica root, cinnamon, and star anise. Now, cinnamon is sort of a new one. I don't think I've had a gin on the show yet that has had cinnamon that I can recall. So I didn't know when we did that little sipper if you could taste.
I thought it tasted licorice a little. But
okay.
Do you taste the cinnamon
that
or the star anise?
No,
not too much,
right?
Yeah. I thought it tasted a little bit of that.
One of those.
No, I can't.
So the gin and tonic that I made for us is their gin, the light Indian premium, and then a little bit of lime.
Perfect.
So give that a try. Cheers.
Cheers.
Coming on.
Absolutely.
So this is Jasper Gin.
Jasper Gin.
Cheers.
So if he's number 1, where do I fall in?
No, he's not number 1.
I'm number
He's
2.
number 2. Oh. Steve, my buddy Steve Rotary. Shot to the top.
What?
Yeah. There might be shenanigans.
What the hell's he doing?
I'm not sure. I don't know. But
what's he doing in that podcast? To get so many.
It was naval strength gin. We had a good story.
We just meet up in conference rooms at work and we just download it.
Yeah. Naval strength.
That wouldn't surprise me.
That's like the heavy duty.
Yeah, it's the big boys. That's not your amateur gin, Sean.
Well, you know me, I never have drank before, so it's a good thing
Yeah, thanks for going up. So, real quick on the Charleston Distilling Company, they're located on Johns Island. They opened just in March of 2014. They distill a number of spirits in addition to their gin, including 2 styles of vodka, their tolerance liqueur, a bourbon, and a straight rye. Now, the 2 distilleries were showcasing today. I did not actually have a chance to visit either one when I was down there last year, but I was at a place and I saw these 2 gins and I grabbed them. I couldn't resist getting today, or the first one, Jasper Gin, because I think you guys may remember, you never met her, but I had a dog named
your
Jasper.
Dog. Yeah, Jasper. It was a beagle, right?
A little beagle, yeah. And I don't believe in cloning, but if I could clone her and get the exact same looking dog back with that exact same personality, I would do it in a heartbeat.
You can go get my neighbors across the street. The damn thing barks constantly.
No, that was the great thing about Jasper. She didn't bark. She loved to snuggle. She was great with kids. Like, she was just the best little dog.
Oh.
So, now, have either of you ever been to South Carolina before?
No.
I've been there once, but
for work or fun?
just for work for like a day. and it may have been Charleston. And I remember getting off the plane in my glasses because I hadn't had LASIK yet, just fogged up immediately from the humidity. And it was so hot there.
Charleston's supposed to be a great city.
So hot.
It's very cool.
Like it's southern,
really cool
but southern
for one
progressive.
day.
It's not, a
pretty
southern
cool.
conservative city. It's more of a progressive city as the South goes, right?
I went down there for the second time in my life last spring for my uncle's 80th birthday, which is why I was down there, and I'd gotten these gins. But yeah, it was a fun city. They had a bunch of breweries and distilleries, and it's real beautiful around there. We didn't do a lot of touristy things this time, but there's plenty that you can do down there. Fort Sumter, is right near there if you're a Civil War buff. So
isn't part of their
cool.
shtick that you can get a to-go cup anywhere and walk around outside? Isn't that Charleston or is that Savannah?
I thought that was
One of them.
that might be Savannah. I was gonna say,
Yeah, because it's like a tradition. You're at a bar, you have a drink, and automatically they assume you're going to have a to-go cup, and you're going to get a drink to go, and you always have a cup to go, and you can walk outside. There's no open intox laws. In fact, it's almost kind of encouraged. It's like a tradition.
well, we're starting to edge that way, like in downtown now. They
I'm all
have
for
those
that.
little, what do they call them? They're like
Social zones.
those little social zones,
Yeah.
and each year they kind of like add on a little.
Yeah,
bit to
add
them.
this street, add this strip. Do a little bit more.
I added my driveway. Just kidding.
There you go. And we're going to Ireland for our mom's birthday.
Yes, I know, because you guys have promised to bring me back some good Irish.
If I don't drink it on the flight home, yes.
You're not allowed to. You'll have to pack it in your suitcase.
Yes, it's true. We should bring you back some good Irish gin.
I don't know if there's open
Yeah, you
intox laws in
should.
Ireland. Is there, Bubba?
We will bring you.
Yeah.
Is there open intox laws in Ireland or no? I hope not.
Now, either of you been to Ireland before?
No.
I have not. We've been to England, which I don't think we can ever return to again.
No.
But yeah. There's still warrants for
Are you
our
having to
house
fly in through England to go?
Thankfully, no.
there. Thankfully, no.
Okay.
Brits would retain us.
Yeah, that didn't go over so well last time we were together.
Well, we were young and very American, so
Yeah.
Cambridge was never the same.
It wasn't. In fact,
Now, were you studying abroad in Cambridge?
Yes. I studied abroad for about 8 weeks in the summer of 2002. Yeah, I was over there, and then, but the time you came over was
04, wasn't it?
a couple years later.
Yeah.
I went back over because my wife Beth, at the time girlfriend, was just studying abroad in Italy, and so you wanted to go see Cambridge because I talked so much about it.
I'm like, hey.
So I popped up and saw you for a few days after leaving Italy, and we had fun.
We went out to the
Oh,
pubs
so
that
you
night.
didn't go visit him when he was there?
Not there. We
Oh,
went
it was-
later
he
when
went
he
on
went
his
to
own.
visit
Oh,
us.
so
trip.
you guys were there. I knew you already then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
it would have been.
thought
I think
it was
4 or 5.
before I met you guys.
Before. It would
We
have
went
been 4.
there. We
It would have been
visited lots of
2004.
pubs in London. And
Cambridge.
we went to London.
Well, both. Oh yeah. Cambridge was. Remember how hot it was?
It was unbelievable. They
Because
said London
we
Boys.
met that spring.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You and
it
I
would have
met down
been.
in
When did we go?
Stockbridge
August
Pub.
or?
Yeah, July, August, June, something like that.
Because we met
Wimbledon was on.
we met that spring, and it was when we met at Stockbridge Pub, and it was. Let me think. So that would have been 04. So I turned.
03.
No,
Right,
it was
03 was
no, it
it?
was
That
04.
04?
I think, right?
It was 04 when we met,
Yeah.
and you and I. This is Andy. We share the same birthday.
Yes.
And the funny thing is, Adam, you share the same birthday as my wife.
Yes, that's right.
So,
That's crazy.
but that was the year. It was like a Wednesday night. Our birthday fell on a Wednesday that year, and we went down to Stockbridge Pub. Do you remember that? We
Probably only in bits and pieces.
Yeah, we like shut the place down. It was like 2 a.m. on a Wednesday. It was so that was a lot of fun. Yeah.
That is.
Well, we can't visit England again because we got into
You guys-
words.
So what'd you guys do?
You guys were young pups back then.
We went to a couple pubs. We had several extra cold Guinnesses, and then
For some reason, these Brits wanted to fight.
they came over and they're like,
We weren't doing
hello,
anything
how
wrong."
are you? And of course, I'm like,
Is that what they said?
oh yeah,
Drew is kind of like giant compared. I mean, like you were kind of bigger than everybody for some reason.
we're Irish. So I got,
England?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
I don't
Irish.
know
So I
why
had
they're in
like,
these small pubs. Everybody was small.
all of a sudden I had like, 800 years of oppression of my people come out, right?
Big
And I'm
loud-
just like, all right, bring it. Is this where it ends right here?
Wait,
is
you're
this where it's
you're
gonna
not.
end?
You guys aren't English. You're just Irish.
We're Irish. Yeah.
Oh,
And I'm like,
that is
okay.
a problem.
I mean,
I'm like, here we go.
Basically, we were 2 seconds away from pulling out the line of like 2 good things have ever come out of England: Beatles and America.
You told
We
them thanks for the
almost-
country.
that I did not.
No, I did.
Wait.
I told
You did.
because remember at the time.
I was
Yeah,
young
Katie's
and dumb.
boyfriend was from England.
I should not have done that. So, but we
Wait,
enjoyed.
you did do that?
I did not. It was close.
I did.
It's a Woody Harrelson line from a movie, I think, but I did not say it.
No, it was a text I sent to you.
I told you. I had like,
Yeah.
had like 1,000 years of my
Beatles
family
in the America thing.
No, it was
right.
Thanks for the Country. That one.
Yeah, that one is yours. So we had fun, but they have Guinness Extra Cold, which is basically regular temperature because over there
American temperature beer.
Right,
for whatever reason
prefer
they're
to serve like room temperature
Let's
beer.
serve
They don't
room
believe in
temperature
ice.
stuff.
The whole
Let's
continent
not have
doesn't.
air conditioning anywhere. Why have comfortable toilet seats?
There are no toilet
Why not?
seats. Yeah.
At least you had toilets. I've been to some
That's true.
countries where that's
But nevertheless, it was really cool, and of course the American dollar was just awful at the time. It was right after 9/11 and stuff, and I mean, well, I guess it was a couple years, but we were in the middle of the war, and like I think it was 1-2. Like the pound was so strong that we were broke. I mean,
Whopper was like $13.
oh yeah, and
US.
this was 20 years
Why are you
ago.
eating a Whopper when you're overseas?
Because we've been at the pubs all
Because
day.
we've been pubs all day, and like they
Couldn't you get fish and chips or
not
something?
really. These places, literally, the places we went, I don't think they were.
So we're just
serving
having a conversation like we are now. Obviously,
But it
we
was
have an
fun.
American accent, so these guys come over and they're like, oh,
I don't know why they wanted to pick a fight.
They just wanted to pick a fight. And
It
of
was
course,
fun.
I had, like 1,000 generations of family whispering in my ear, get him, Andy, get him, throw the first punch. And I'm like, oh boy, here we go. This is where it ends right here.
I would have protected you, Drew.
Oh, thank you.
I could have walked around and been like, hey, I studied at Sydney Sussex College at Cambridge. Don't do anything.
Would that have worked, do you think?
Not at all.
Not at that point. Oh, they
They'd
were
been
just
like, great.
blitzed.
Yeah.
It was to the point where all of a sudden
Well-
then the pub lady comes over to us and says, look, guys, it may be best to go. And we're like,
Remember,
okay.
we also, for whatever reason, the taxi driver hated us.
Hated us.
Brought us to the train station, whatever. He was like, have a great trip to my country. Or, what did he say? Something like that.
He's like, we appreciate your generosity.
Yeah, that was it, because we tipped him like £1 because we had like no money.
Yeah.
And
I'm like,
he
a pound's
rolled
like
down the
$2.
window and yelled at us, and we're
Yeah.
like, come on.
No,
we're
back
like,
then it would have been
we were
$2 to you.
to
Yeah,
us,
okay.
you know?
We were
So I'm
poor,
like,
man.
look, like, no. Oh, in the hotel we stayed at.
I don't even want to talk about it.
There were no
Wait, how long were you there?
I was
I mean, 4 nights.
4 nights, 5 nights. 'Cause I went to Paris too first. And our room, there was no toilet in the room, no sink
Yeah.
in the room. It was a standard room. They actually condemned the hotel the following year and burned it down. Or,
They called it a twin bed or whatever.
If it was
but
a twin, it was
their
like-
twins aren't like ours. They're basically a glorified baby bassinet. Like it could basically fit maybe a 5 foot. It's probably like 5 feet by 2.
And
it
there's
has
no air
cushions
conditioning
or anything.
Remember, there's no air conditioning at this point.
Again,
in the
we're
room.
not talking about 5-star resorts.
Yeah,
so
that's
I
good.
get it.
Yeah, very
It was
small
a
bed,
step up from a
extremely
hostel.
hot out, extremely hot, and the window cracked. It was about this big, and the window cracked open about a half inch.
It was really fun.
But it was tons of fun. Wimbledon was on at the time. I remember that.
I don't think I've been.
Did you go catch that?
No, we could actually. Couldn't we hear it at one point or
I
something?
don't remember.
I thought we could hear it.
Did you just stay in London then?
We went to
London and up to
Cambridge.
Cambridge
Okay.
for a day because you can take the train up and back in a day.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'd love to do like the British Isles sometimes. I'd love to do like a London, Edinburgh,
Oh yeah.
like
so
Dublin
neat.
trip. Okay, so you guys are going to Ireland this summer.
Yep.
Where in Ireland are you going? Where are you flying into?
Flying into Dublin.
Okay.
And then we're driving over. Our stepfather, his parents were from the very extreme southwest tip of Ireland, the part that juts out into the Atlantic Ocean. So we're going to a small little country village first and staying there, and it's like very typical Irish countryside where the sheep outnumber the people 10 to 1, right?
Sure.
So we'll stay there first for 3 or 4 nights. 4 nights?
four.
4 nights.
Yep.
And then we drive up to Dublin and we stay there 3 nights and then fly home out of Dublin. We're staying in an American hotel in Dublin. So we're staying in a home that we're renting out in the country and then an American hotel in Dublin and flying home.
Yeah.
Are you going? Excuse me. Anywhere near northern?
No.
Okay. I found out recently that's where my Irish relatives are from, like up more northern Ireland. Yeah. So
Our Irish side's all from the south.
okay.
So County Cork for the most part, and then our grandma's from just a little bit north of there. Conway? Or is that her maiden name? I can't remember. But the next county to the north of Cork. So we're all central south is where our family's from in Ireland.
If I go back, I think it's on my grandma Barb's side. There's a nun from Ireland, like I don't know, 4 or 5 generations back.
That'll be cool. On the way back, we're going to stop by and see like the Titanic Museum in the City Cove, where they built the Titanic there.
And it was its last stop before it started heading to America.
What's the museum? How to not do things?
Yeah.
Like, come on. What are you doing? Like,
big sign. Don't do what we did.
What are you swinging by the Hindenburg Museum?
The Irish built that ship. Big Irish hands.
That's nothing to like brag
exactly,
about.
Right? Yeah.
Well,
there's a big sign. Slow down.
They didn't expect.
Heed our warnings.
They didn't expect that big giant thing,
But yeah, so we're going there.
Yeah, I don't know what that would entail, but it's supposed to be pretty interesting.
Yep, swing by there and then up to Dublin and walk around Trinity College. It was supposed to be a beautiful campus.
And go to the Guinness factory.
Guinness factory.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because our mom is putting together a list of everything that we need to see and do while we're there. And, of course, she asked Adam and I, what do we want to do?
It's not that difficult.
Number one thing, we want to go to the bar.
I just want to walk around and go to pubs and drink Guinness.
Yeah, there we go.
I need much more. I want to talk to locals. I want to interact.
So are you guys like splitting off like...
Maybe by that point, after
part of the
5
family
days.
will go like do things, and you guys will go explore like the locals.
There'll be some shopping going on while Adam and I go to a couple pubs, I bet.
Probably.
See which one has the best Guinness.
We'll bring Jonah, my son, Jonah, who's 15. So he'll be 15.
He can't
he's
drink
basically
yet, right?
almost 16 over there.
Can he drink over there yet?
Not till 18.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they technically... And in fact, I was just reading the other day, like until 1975 or something, the drinking age was actually 21 there.
Oh, wow.
Then they dropped it to 18, and I don't think they really enforce it, but that's just the rule.
When I was in Germany, it was very common to see 14, 15-year-olds drinking. They just give them a near beer,
crazy.
like extremely low alcohol beer, and the kids will still drink it.
He doesn't want to do it anyway. So.
But they see it as, just very, it's cultural and it's just part of life, and they don't really see it as like drinking. You're just
Well, yeah,
having
it's
it.
not like something you can't do, and then it's like binge drinking.
Right. Yeah, they just have it all the time.
Yeah, it works for them. So
this is Ireland trip. So
that'll be great. I would love to go there. So, but you're just on your own. You're not doing like a tour. You're kind of just off on your own, seeing the stuff that you want to see.
Yeah.
You're running a car?
We're having a driver, actually. When we did the math, it was actually cheaper for the number of people that we have going.
Well, that's good.
To get a driver. They'll pick us up in Dublin, drive us way out to the countryside, and then the same driver actually works for a tour company. That's his company.
So it's you two, your two spouses, Adam, your two kids, and then your mom.
You got it.
Yeah, that'll be great.
And then they can say, okay, you know what? We want to see, name it, Blarney Castle. Oh, okay, I can take you there on the way. Or, tomorrow morning we'll take you out to this castle or something like that. So, which I'm looking forward to. Oh, yeah. Because we don't have to worry about driving it on.
I know.
That's part of the stress of being in a foreign country. Even though the languages are the same, it's kind of navigating the small roads or, trying to figure out a map.
Drinking and driving.
Anything like that.
Or they might just have like fluky traffic laws.
Well, and they do the opposite side of the road, opposite side of the car there as well. I believe. In the Republic of Ireland, I think they do. Or is that only in the north? Either way, but
I don't know.
Either way, I wouldn't want to drive there.
That all sounds tricky.
It's worth it.
Yeah. No, well, that'll be awesome. And I can't wait to get the report. And when are you going? June?
June. Mid-June.
Okay. Yep.
All right.
Mid-June.
Well, that'll be great. Okay. Before we start recording, we'll do 2 rounds of trivia in today's episode, but we'll just do one question for Drew and then one question for Adam. So you guys played rock, paper, scissors, and no, I'm just kidding. You just decided that Drew would go first. So now keep in mind, these are now just like cocktail trivia. It's not gin specific.
Trivia. No, but it's still booze related.
It's totally booze related.
There's still alcohol content in this card.
So,
okay.
All right. So this is called Making a Scene, and it's questions about cocktails made famous by TV and movies.
Okay.
So I feel like you got a decent shot at this one. So in Casablanca, have you seen it?
Yes.
Okay. In Casablanca, Humphrey Bogart only makes 2 drinks on screen: a champagne cocktail and what else? Your options are a Bellini, a French 75, an Aperol Spritz, or a martini.
I don't remember him making a drink. I remember him smoking through the whole movie, but I do not remember him making a drink in the movie. What was the first answer? What was A?
A is a Bellini. B is a French 75. C, an Aperol Spritz. Or D, a martini.
I'm going to go... I'm leaning towards martini, but they weren't that popular back then. martinis were kind of more of an American thing later. I'll go with A. Why not? Bellini.
A Bellini. No, it is actually very funny. It's a gin drink. It's a French 75.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh.
So, but good guess. I mean,
I wouldn't have known.
I would have guessed a martini, actually. That would have been just my guess.
Me too.
Probably, I've never had a French 75. I don't even know what's in it, so maybe that's...
Oh man, I was just reading about this a couple weeks. We'll have to look it up. We can come back to the second segment because it's kind of an easy one to make allegedly, and they're supposed to be super good. And they're like making a comeback now. Like if you go to some cocktail bars these days, you'll see like a French 75 up on the menu.
I wonder what's in it. It must be some sort of like juice and gin with a splash of soda or something. I bet.
I don't know. We'll look it up. It's not super complicated, but I know it's kind of on the come up, as the kids like to say. So.
Nice.
All right, we will take a break, and then we will be back with our second gin.
Cool.
Beautiful.
All right, we are back for segment 2. The second gin we are trying is called Hat Trick Botanical Gin. So give this one a little sip. Again, you don't have to shoot it. You can just sip it.
Just toss this back.
You're way more professional than I am.
I think that's smoother than the first one.
I agree.
Yeah, definitely. This one the other one had that burny medicinally. I think that's the right word.
I think it was like with the cinnamon and stuff. It was the one that had a little, not a bite. There's a little bit of spice sort of to it.
For sure.
Yeah, I would agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to try the cocktail then?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. It's a gin and tonic. It is made with Mediterranean tonic, and then this is a squirt of lemon.
Question real quick. So the last one had Indian tonic, and this had
light, and this is Mediterranean.
What's the difference in the tonic that might influence the gin?
So I went with the light Indian tonic because we are recording this in early April. We all three of us know it'll soon be swimsuit season. Hence, I went with the light tonic for us. Oh, you can also do the Indian tonic, but I just prefer the light, so I went with that. The Mediterranean, it's just like infused with a different like botanical within the tonic.
Okay. Does tonic have a lot of calories?
If you go, I mean, it's got a little bit, because there's a little bit of sugar in it.
There we go. That's the problem. All these years. Now I know. I gotta.
Yeah. Is that it?
I just gonna start drinking gin and soda. There we go. That's the problem.
That's the problem.
Never the fact that I like pizza and beer.
See, the problem is I don't like club soda.
Oh.
Like it's just not appealing to me.
Really?
Like I don't mind it. Like when you were on your first episode, we did the Tom Collins. Ooh. But that was almost kind of like a fizzy lemonade sort of. It's good.
It's good.
But like if my choice, if the options were a gin and tonic or a gin and soda, I would always go with a gin and tonic. Yeah. So I just, I don't know, the soda just on its own is not as appealing to me.
Yeah.
So
the tonic definitely adds the flavor. It's like
I like
salt and pepper.
This one.
I like this one better too.
You like this one better too?
It's really, really good.
I like both, but I also prefer this. It's a little smoother, and I think that's.
What do you like about this one better, Brian?
Then it's
the smoothness, or
it is the smoothest, and I will say. I did try the Jasper gin. Like I tried these a little bit before you guys came over because I was trying to figure out, hey, what's.
I wondered why half the bottle was drinking. Okay,
I do what I can. So it's research, Drew.
It's research. You gotta make sure you gotta know your product.
Yeah, I'm not gonna serve you guys a bad drink.
I'm just kidding.
But I thought the light tonic I thought complemented the other one better, and it was better with like a lime in it. And this one I tried with light tonic, and then also Mediterranean. Then I also tried a lime or a lemon, and I found a lemon with the Mediterranean just
awesome.
complemented
really?
this one better. Yeah.
What do you like about this one better?
Yeah, I think everything you said is just smoother,
better botanical.
Yeah, it smells great. It's just really smooth. And I didn't think about the fact that you used lemon this time too instead. That's interesting.
Yeah, just I don't know. In my opinion, it just complemented a bit better. So I've got. They had a little bit more information, and there's kind of an interesting story on one of the things they use. This actually for their whiskey, but I'll just kind of go through this quick. So this Hat Trick Botanical Gin, it's made by Highwire Distilling Company. This gin is made with crushed juniper berries and fresh lemon and orange peel. It is a bright and flavorful gin. the app I have, Ginventory, describes it as a
I like that, Ginventory.
floral gin with hints of licorice, lemon, orange, and pine. And then the website The Gin Is In describes it as a stellar contemporary style that rewards the appreciative gin drinker with many layers of complexity and a deceptive smoothness. So it's solely that deceptive smoothness that has hooked us. Highwire Distilling Company opened in 2013 and was founded by Ann Marshall and Scott Blackwell. It's a husband and wife duo. Their distillery was born of their desire to explore a range of flavor that might be found in lost and forgotten grains. So their spirits are created using heritage grains from South Carolina family farms. Now, an interesting story around that when I was researching is one of these grains is Jimmy Red corn. It is a legendary moonshiner's corn that had dwindled down to a mere 2 cobs following the death of the last man known to have grown it. And so they started to seed it. And so in 2014... Anson Mills, I don't know who this is, but entrusted them with enough Jimmy Red seed to grow 2.5 acres, and they did this in partnership with Clemson University. Each year, the yield has gotten bigger and bigger, with now annual yields of 1.3 million pounds.
Oh, wow.
So they basically saved this
they saved the corn.
Extinction.
Booze saved the corn.
Yes, and it is used in their line of Jimmy Red Expressions, which is their Jimmy Red Bourbon. So, and in addition to Jimmy Red Bourbon and Hat Trick Gin, they also distill a rye whiskey, vodka, and Amaro, which is like a liqueur for them down there. And that
I'd like to try the rye whiskey, just to see what it tastes like. I like rye. A lot of people don't like rye whiskey, but I like it. I like the kind of spicy flavor rye whiskey has.
Yeah, I like rye. So that is...
That's cool.
Hat Trick.
I like it. Really I like it a lot.
Now, what I could not figure out is, so the bottle is a guy, with cards, because Hat Trick immediately made me think of hockey.
Me too.
So, and
3 goals.
I believe you're the only guest I've had on the show who actually, no, that's a lie. Scotty played hockey too, right? You and Scott are...
Oh,
I don't remember if Scott
like early on, like when you like Pee Wee or something.
Did he? I think he played for 1 year to try it out when he was in 5th grade.
Yeah.
Because Cousin Adam did it.
But you played through
a long time.
high school, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Now, what position did you play?
So I played for 10 straight years. Well, I took a year off, but... what
was that to take steroids?
You were right wing, weren't you? You were right wing, weren't you?
I was right wing and center sometimes.
Did you have a preference between positions?
Probably center. Center was fun.
Did you play all the way through senior year?
Yes.
Okay.
So at West, they only had 1 team, and it was varsity. That was it.
I think
so.
Isn't that with most hocky programs?
They have JV. So
Some
lots of them
do?
have JV and varsity. In big schools, we even have freshman. So I went in. I don't think I was 5 feet tall. I was probably 115 pounds. I think I was 4'11", literally. I'm not joking. Freshman year.
You probably could have started for the English national team.
Not as much competition.
No, we're not allowed in England.
But then I couldn't believe it. I mean, I made the team because I'd been playing for 6 years, I guess, at that point. Because I started in basically 2nd grade. But I made the team, and I was on second line, which you basically play as much as the first line. I mean, the first line just starts the game. 2 minutes later, they're off the ice, and you're on, and then off on. But yeah, played all 4 years. So very little. Can't believe I was out there against seniors. There were some big guys too. And at the time, the City League was very competitive. I mean, you had Grand Rapids Christian, Catholic Central, even Central and Creston and Ottawa.
Where you're playing big public high schools.
Yeah. Because all those high schools still existed back then.
Weren't you guys the smallest high school in the City League?
Oh, I'm sure we were.
Yeah, probably. I mean, maybe, yeah. Central maybe was smaller. I don't really know. Creston.
Central High School?
Because I don't know if they're still around, but they were big guys. All I know is I remember they were big.
Creston is Central.
And it was scary because I was against guys that were, even in our own school, the team was big. The guys were, but we were pretty good. It was decent, We won more than we lost, but...
Did you ever make the state playoffs or anything?
I think it was senior year, we made it to the regional finals, but we got destroyed by Big Rapids. That was it. But we won. We won 2 in a row to make it to that point. I think.
That's awesome, though.
But it was fun.
Yeah, that's great.
And then we never beat Catholic Central the whole time, all 4 years. Never beat
really?
once. Yep.
They were always awesome.
They were always great at every sport, and especially and yeah. So we played them. It was my senior year. We were up 3-0 going into the third period, and everybody was so cocky about it. And I'm like,
yeah,
it's not good. We ended up losing 4-3 or 5-3. Yep.
Yeah, you never
want to
get cocky with a lead.
Yeah,
definitely not.
But once it was done, I was like, I'm done. I'm not doing this like men's league or this other stuff in college, like dropping in and playing. I'm like, nah, I'm good.
So you didn't go into the beer leagues?
Nope. Nothing. But I loved it. It was fun. Drew, you remember those mornings getting up real early going to my games? I'm sorry about that now looking back.
Our mom and dad would schlep me off there too.
Yeah, my games would be Saturday mornings at 7.
It's 7, so of course,
9,
because it's hard to find ice time. There's not a ton of rings.
Drew would get
Our mom would wake us up at like 5:30. All right, get up.
Yeah.
Like,
And I was playing basketball too, so not in high school, but in grade, from 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. So in all those years, I was playing basketball at the same time, and so I'd have to go from one to the other a lot. Mm-hmm. So many times changing in the big, in the Grand Caravan, the Dodge Caravan, we didn't have a Grand Caravan, excuse me, a Dodge Caravan.
Mm-hmm. It was plum purple.
Yep.
With no
That's right.
add-ons at all.
It was.
Like, it was the
like,
demo model. I think Lee Iacocca was like,
it was the
what's
prototype?
the cheapest beta minivan we can come up with? And then they're like, they said, who the hell are we going to sell this to? All those people over in Grand Rapids, they'll buy it. So we bought this minivan. It had the crank windows. I don't think it had cruise control, did it? Did it have air? I don't even know if it had air.
I think it had air.
I don't know. There were just like a couple puppies up front in the engine that jumped on a wheel to make the engine run.
Yeah, it was like 6 squirrels.
Caravan, though.
Yeah, 6 squirrels.
I mean, you remember how cool caravans were in the early 90s? It was like, oh man.
It was cool, but of
No,
course,
I don't, because I was in college at that time.
I expected it to be like the ones with the screens and the pop down and the.
Wait, was that even a thing when you two were growing up?
No, but I'm imagining this now.
It was nothing.
It was nothing.
Nothing.
It was a show.
That's hilarious. Lee Iacocca,
anyway.
wow, that's a blast from the past.
Yeah, that's right.
Came in and saved
Chrysler Dodge.
Yeah.
Invented the K car though, right? It came up with the concept of, hey, you got to sell these K cars.
He did?
Well, under his leadership, I think Chrysler did. Yeah.
I don't know. All I know
He
is
basically said we have to.
All I remember is he allegedly saved Chrysler back in the day.
Yeah.
So
He basically said, why are you selling so many big cars in a time of an oil crisis? Sell small cars that are more fuel efficient. We'll sell the hell out of these things. And he was right. He's like, you have to listen to what's going on to other external forces. Why are we telling the market when the market should be telling us what to do? Right? And I mean, they did.
Yeah.
Right? It was smart.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
So okay. Anything else before we move to trivia? Because we'll have 3 off the beaten topics, and I want to make sure we got.
Right.
All right. So are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
I got a tough one. That was a tough trivia question.
Yeah.
I won't know this either.
Okay.
It's like,
I will not know this, but I'll try.
You gotta have. Come on. You gotta have.
I have credit. A little bit of credit.
You've got to have a little faith.
Okay.
Okay. All right. This is also making a scene. Question about cocktails made famous by TV or movies. Okay. I think you can pull this off. I have faith in you. Okay. Debuting in 1998, which hit TV show is to blame for popularizing the Cosmopolitan?
Oh, I think I know it.
Options are Friends, B, Desperate Housewives, C, Gilmore Girls, D, Sex in the City.
Sex in the City.
Ding, ding, ding.
What the hell is that? That's like what letter does the word gin start with?
I knew Drew was waiting. He was upset by that. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate that.
I get this tough question like, hey, I'm in
If you don't
inches.
know it, you don't know it.
How far away is the moon? Like, I'm just kidding.
It's the luck of the draw, Drew. It's the luck of the draw.
Well, yeah. Cosmo.
Okay.
That's right.
Are you ready to move on to everyone's favorite segment?
Sure.
Yeah.
Off the Beaten Path, and we decided before Drew will go first, followed by Adam.
Yep.
And then I'll...
Oh, I get to go first?
That's what
I'm
we
leading
said.
off.
Did you
I don't
not pay
remember.
attention?
That was 2 gins ago. I don't
Do you want
remember
me to go
anymore.
first?
No, it's fine. I'll go first. I don't mind. So, Brian, let's talk about U of M football. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, my... Yeah, okay.
As you hear Brian throw me out the door. No, actually, I think it's been a while since we talked about a book that I have read.
Great.
So I just finished up reading an Agatha Christie book, and I'm going to tell you why I read Agatha Christie. And I first of all, amazing author, and I hadn't read anything by Agatha Christie in quite a while. But during times like we're in right now, right? Obviously things are a little topsy-turvy and every day's unknown. I'm sitting there thinking like, okay, first of all, what's a good read? But, we could also call it like a classic in a way. But also in a way it just kind of like brings you to a time that's not really now, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? Agatha Christie, for sure. So I read Mystery on the Blue Train. Have you ever read that one? I know she's written like 50 books or something like that.
Real quick, had you read other books by her?
I had, but it's been a while.
But your book for today is Mystery on the Blue Train.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. So I don't want to give away too much of the book, and certainly not the ending, but I would highly recommend it. I think all of her books are very good. Either if they're the Miss Marple books or if they're the Perot books. I think all of it's good because it's kind of mystery based, it's suspenseful. I like the way that her writing really develops all of the lead characters. Like there's no one that by the end of the book you sit there and go, I didn't really know about them, or I didn't really know a lot about them. Like you really get to know the lead characters well in all of her writing. So I like that. And I like the way that at the end, you don't finish reading the book going, I never really know what happened to, and then fill in the blank. Like, you know as much as the author knew by the end of all of her books. And I like that. I like that at all. I like that a lot. But at the same time, out of all the books of hers that I've read, probably with the exception of maybe like one, did I ever have like the killer right during the middle of
like you figured it out.
I never figured it out. It's always like at the end and I'm like, what? It was them? Like, how did I miss that? Or, something like that. So that's why they're so good, right? So not only are they well written, but they're timeless and they can bring you into a time that's not now, because most people don't want to think about the now so much nowadays.
So this one, the Blue Train, is the Blue Train in the U.S.? Is it in Europe?
It's in Europe.
Where's the Blue Train?
Yep, it's in Europe.
Okay.
Yep. So the Blue Train, I think, historically goes from like Paris down to like through Provence down to the Mediterranean coast. So I think historically, I believe this to be true, where particularly wealthy people, they would be in Paris and then weekend or summer out on the Mediterranean down in like Nice or Lyon or something like that, right? And they would take the Blue Train to get there. So I think that it has this air of like, hey, wealthy people ride on this train.
I wonder if it wasn't the Blue Train that Jim and I rode, but we came up through there. And the next time I'll have to have him tell the story. We sat in the wrong section by accident. I think it was my fault, but we had to move up. These old people next.
Oh yeah.
And he like stepped on this old lady, and
Oh no!
Oh my god, it was a nightmare. We had to like quick get off of there. Anyhow, that's another story for another day. Real quick about Agatha Christie. Isn't there like a story about her? Is she the one? Didn't she like fake her own death for a few days or something?
Yes,
like,
you're right. I did hear that before.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Yeah,
it's very true.
It was
I think she passed away in real life in 1977 or 70. It was like late 70s.
But this
she
was
lived
like
a
in
long
the
time.
30s or 40s
it was.
or something.
When she was
like
young.
in England.
Yes, in England. Yeah, yep. She's English, and I think she faked her own death like in her 30s. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was something like, did she think her husband was having an affair or something? I don't know. There's something like weird. And she like disappeared for like a few days. Yeah, anyhow.
That's crazy.
Sold a lot of books.
I was going to say.
It was a marketing play.
Yeah.
But no.
You've read a lot of those of her.
Oh, yeah.
You and Mom love them.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'd recommend that book if you haven't read it before and you're looking for a timeless classic that's an interesting
Mystery on the Blue Train.
Mystery on the Blue Train.
Nice.
That was good.
All right. Adam?
Yeah?
You're up.
Okay. I was like trying to think of a few different ideas, but I think I'm going to go back to movies because I do love movies. And we were talking about Ireland, and then when you mentioned Northern Ireland, it reminded me of a movie named Belfast. And I'll also get to my other ones. But have you seen Belfast yet?
No,
but
it was up for Best Picture a couple of years ago.
Yes, and it's by what's his face?
I was going to look it up because I couldn't remember.
Kenneth Branagh, right?
Oh.
Isn't he the director? Like, isn't it sort of like
that guy?
Isn't it sort of like an autobiography of his family, if I remember correctly? Like the movie's like in black and white.
Kenneth Branagh.
Branagh. Yeah, you guys have listened to this. I'm terrible.
Once we go to Ireland, we'll know how to pronounce it.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
But But it is by him.
And isn't it in black and white?
It is.
Yeah, okay. I haven't seen it, but I know
It's
of
great.
it. So, yeah,
It's really good. And obviously it's like a family growing up in Northern Ireland, and then it compares to the Southern. One of my favorites, this doesn't give anything away, but in the end, the dad to the son, because the son liked this girl, but she was Catholic and they were Protestant or whatever. And he's young, the son's little. Like, he has like a crush on this girl or whatever. And he was just like, if what do you say? If she has a good heart and she's nice, she's welcome in our house any day. And it's like the climax of it. It's so nice. It's a beautiful movie. But I really liked that. It was a really cool movie, Belfast. I watched it with Mom for Mother's Day movie.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, she liked it too.
No, when is it supposed to take place?
Now, had you seen it before you watched it with your mom?
I watched it once before I saw it.
So did you pick it for her, thinking that she'd like it?
Yeah, because for Mother's Day, we would hang out and we would watch a couple movies at her house. So that was one of the two that we watched. I think it was last year or maybe 2 years ago.
Nice.
But it was really good. It's a good movie. It's pretty quick, and it's like just really, it's neat because it brings you to a specific time period. So all the surrounding stuff is real, like what was happening there at the time. But then there's this story that is built into that time frame, which is fun to watch.
Like
it's just a really
flashbacks.
good movie.
So it's modern day with flashbacks.
No, it's all just taking place back then.
Oh,
it wasn't
okay.
too long ago, but it was good. But I went back and listened to our podcast from last June. Remember when I came in and it was amazing? I think I'm number 2, if you said that earlier.
Number 1 right now.
No.
No, when we went on break, he downloaded it like 18 more times.
That's right. And I mentioned I was going to talk about Justin Hurwitz and Damien Chazelle movies because I'm obsessed with them. And I haven't watched them in too long.
With what?
So, La La Land, First
Oh.
Man, and Whiplash. It's like my trio. Have you watched any of them yet?
Never.
He never
None
watches
of those
movies I recommend.
No, I have no idea what even
Wait, what was
there.
the second one?
I've never heard of this stuff in my life.
La La Land.
First Man.
Great.
Never heard.
La La Land and
Wait,
Whiplash.
which one's First Man?
So First Man's the story about Neil Armstrong, first man on the moon.
Oh, when what's his face is
Ryan Gosling.
yes, those are all good. You haven't seen any of those?
No, I've never heard of this.
What are you doing?
I've never heard of this stuff.
they're
Those
so
are
good.
all good movies.
Give them a watch. The thing I love is the soundtrack with it too, and I told this on the last one, but like the producer and the musician met at Harvard freshman year. They were like Harvard roommates. They didn't know each other before and so it was really nice. They built this huge, gigantic career. They won like a bazillion awards, of course, and all these things. But I love those 3 movies. They're so good. And Whiplash is so good. Whiplash is great. It's got who's the Miles Teller?
Yeah.
Who, like, that was kind of his first breakthrough movie as the drummer in it. But yeah, La La Land is probably one of my favorite movies.
You really? I've got to watch it.
Yeah. But I like musicals though a lot. I love La La Land. Like 3 of my top probably 10: La La Land, Sound of Music, and The Greatest Showman.
I do like Greatest Showman. I've seen that, and I like.
That's always like, that story's not completely true, don't you? And I'm like, yeah.
I didn't even know if it was based on a true story.
Well, it's supposed to be around Barnum.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I liked the movie though. I did see that.
I really enjoyed how La La Land was like a throwback to like those musicals back in the 40s and 50s. Like they just don't make those these
what I liked
days,
about it too, Ryan.
And I'm not like a huge musical fan, but like I thought La La Land was great, and it reminded me of like some of those movies which are just so well done. So,
and that was the one where they had the flub on stage at the Oscars for Best Pictures. Remember that?
No.
They named the wrong. Remember, the 2 people were on stage, and the winner is for Best Picture, La La Land. But it wasn't La La Land.
Why would they say the wrong thing?
It was Moonlight, or what was the Moonlight.
Oh, you're right.
That was the year that...
Was that...
It was
that's
that
what
was
they
the
said?
year.
Wasn't it...
So, 2017, or...
Was it
Why would they even say the wrong thing?
Moonlight? It's not Moonlight. That movie was great. Did you see that movie? It was so well done
too. So what happened was the 2 people that were giving away the award for Best Picture were handed who is it? It's Ernst and Young or who's there's like a firm.
No, Moonlight. We're right. It is Moonlight. Yes.
Hands them the envelope. They handed them the envelope for Best Director.
So they read it.
Whatever. Well, and when she opens the envelope, it says and the Oscar goes for Best Director.
But she just
La
read
La
the
Land.
bottom part, yeah.
And then it came up, and then they were kind of like, oh. and then the La La Land people came up there.
That
and
was, I remember that. That was so insane.
Yeah.
And then one, like,
They had one job to get right?
But it was like something from La La Land had to go
Yeah, they did.
like, this is a mistake.
Yeah.
It's Moonlight.
Google that.
Yeah.
Watch that. It's crazy.
Yeah, that was insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. All you needed was Will Smith slapping somebody.
Oh my gosh, that was crazy. So what's up, Brian? What's up yours?
Real quick, before we get to mine, I wanted to follow up. We had talked about the French 75, like what's in it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know, okay. So real quick, the ingredients, and I am sure there are a variety of recipes to follow for this, but this recipe calls for gin, fresh lemon juice, simple syrup, champagne, and then a lemon peel for garnish.
Sounds good.
So it's not overly complicated. And then the champagne will give it a little
Next time we're on, we'll have to
bubbly
have a French
jazz.
75.
So,
That sounds pretty good.
okay.
I should order that on vacation next week.
So like you, Adam, I was trying to figure out like, do I want to do, so I had an idea for a movie, a book, and a podcast, if I remember correctly. And I decided I would go with a podcast because I have not given a podcast for my Off the Beaten Path, and we've only had two. Like Kelly did one, and my friend Jamie also did one. So mine is real quick. Do you guys like history?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So it is a podcast called Our Fake History.
I've listened to it because you
I told
recommended
you that.
it.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
I have
right.
listened to it a few
perfect.
times.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, so it is from Canada, so we'll have to probably pay more to listen to it. But it is by...
There's a tariff on my
it is
podcast.
There's
by-
a tariff on this damn thing.
It's a guy named Sebastian Major, and
I'm gonna do it
this
right now.
podcast has like 10 seasons. It's been going on for 10 years. So I think when he started, he was like a history teacher, but I think he is now doing this full time. So, and he just brings up these topics and he talks about like myths that are in history and like whether or not it's true. And I loved history like ever since I was a kid. My friend Steve Buttman, whom you also know, Drew, like introduced me to this. And so there are some podcasts I listen to, like just certain episodes depending on what's going on. But this is one that I listen to like religiously, like every episode. Like I will.
How often do they
listen
drop a new episode? Is it like a week?
It is basically like every other week, but what'll happen is if
Like every
he
other week.
started like a year and a half ago, so some topics he will have multiple episodes on, but none ever go more than 3 episodes. So some episodes are just one standalone, some are like a double, like, and then some are a triple. But if he does a double or a triple, after that's played, what would then normally be a week off, he'll actually drop a prior podcast from a few years ago or a few seasons back. So, but I think his stuff is great. He ends every podcast saying, just because it didn't happen doesn't mean it isn't real. And so he'll just talk about like how some things have come up, but they're not exactly true. At least the way that we've been told, but it's also not just a complete lie, but things have just kind of gotten changed. Like
Some of those things, the more people say things, all of a sudden it embeds itself.
exactly, yeah. So he just finished up a 3-parter on Al Capone. And it's like, what's true about Al Capone? And it was like, how did he get his scar? And like, there's stories about that. And how did he come to power? And did Elliot Ness really, were Elliot Ness and the Untouchables really responsible for like putting him in jail? And anyhow, it was just a really like interesting story. But like just this past season, it's been I think it was at least a 2-part series. It was like, did the siege of Constantinople actually happen? Were the Thuggies a real thing in India? Who killed King Tut? Like, and so if you like history and you want to just check out different things, like there's 10 seasons you can go pick from.
I didn't know they had that many seasons. 10
I didn't.
seasons.
And I've gone back to like look up other ones that I thought like were in like there's one like about ninjas because when I was a kid I like loved ninjas and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna listen to this.
Well, Adam and I would smash each other with what do you call that? Wrapping paper too.
Oh, yeah.
After watching some Star Wars, we just smashed those crap.
I just did that with my nieces a couple.
You have to.
It's the best thing. Yeah. I used to take So the wiffle ball bats.
Yeah.
Remember those when we were kids? And then I would take a TV tray, like little
the tray,
I guess TV
metal
trays,
part,
right? The little the little
top
metal
part.
part, and it had the two legs. Well, if you pull that up and you just fold those in over your forearm, it's like a good shield for a gladiator. And we used to run around the front yard and wail at each other with wiffle ball bats, and that as a shield. So anyhow, but yeah. So if you like history or just enjoy hearing an interesting story, I highly recommend Our Fake History.
Why is it Our Fake History? Like, is it he's saying what you know about it isn't
exactly true, potentially, yes.
So his research and his thoughts and his beliefs are rooted more this is really what
he'll dive into it and he'll be like, oh, this kind of spun off and
nice.
Yeah, or he'll be
I see, because I like that.
Or sometimes it's kind of well, it's this, but is it really this? And
okay.
There's
I listened to one recently that he did about Mozart, I think it was, and about Mozart was this prodigy.
Oh,
the same,
it's
like a wunderkind, right?
Really
just unbelievable, right? By 3, he was composing his own music, literally. And they're like, well, is that really true? Well, his dad was a composer also, but but there's records of him playing by the time he was 6. On his own.
Yeah, he was
on his own. They're putting him on stage saying, play this, and he's doing it. So there's records of him doing it at 6, but did it really happen at 4? Well, maybe not, but 6 is still really, really cool.
Yeah,
right? So it's more like that kind of stuff.
I mean, so the kid may have been uber talented, maybe his dad was helping a little bit.
But by 6, he was amazing.
4,
yeah.
So
it's more like dissecting it in that sense, where it's okay, we're being told 3 or 4, but 6 is still really awesome, right?
Yeah.
It's more like that kind of thing.
Yeah. But it's a really enjoyable podcast, and I highly recommend it if you like a good story or if you enjoy history. So.
I do. Both.
All right. Well, I can't thank you guys enough for helping to kick off season 3. Anything else before we sign off?
No, thank you. We appreciate it.
Much, man.
Yeah, you bet.
Well, thanks. Very good, Jim.
I hope we get to come back sometime. Hopefully our reviews are good. All 5 stars.
Don't worry, Drew.
People have one up. Thanks, Brett. Yeah. Thanks, Brett. Just keep hitting download 150 times.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, thanks everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. Feel free to subscribe to us on whichever platform you listen to your podcasts. Also, I want to take a quick minute to thank Darin VanderMolen for all of his help behind the scenes. Without him, this podcast probably wouldn't even exist, and his help is greatly appreciated. Hope you have a great week, and we will look forward to seeing you the next time we go down the botanical trails. This has been a Shits and Giggles production.